Hello and welcome everyone back to the Accounting Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are back with another banger Pulsechain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And oh boy, today is a good day. Shout out to everyone who has not capitulated in the past months. We have gone through maximum fear, maximum FUD, maximum depression, ladies and gentlemen. So big shout out to you. We are going to make it. Pulsechain is honestly one of the best places to be to make the most out of this altcoin season that happens every 1 out of 4 years. Of course, if you know about the crypto macro summer cycle, you'll know that Bitcoin goes up 3 out of 4 years. Okay, but altcoins, they only go 1 out of 4 years. They go up 1 out of 4 years, and that's usually post Bitcoin halving year, which is what starting from this year. And yes, I got to be honest with you guys. So far in 2025, it's been the roughest and possibly, by the way, the longest bear trap we've had in the middle of a bull run. And usually it doesn't happen for this long, but of course we've been impeded, but not stifled. Let me tell you that, because the longer we stay at these lows, that pendulum swing, guys, gets stronger and stronger. So the harder we will literally pump. Okay. And of course, we've confirmed this by looking at the macro. And I've been telling you guys, keep an eye on the M2, keep an eye on the M2 money supply. Usually Bitcoin follows it. Keep an eye on the S&P 500. Because of course, people say Bitcoin is a leverage of the S&P 500. Ethereum is a leverage of Bitcoin. Pulsechain is a leverage of Ethereum. Okay. We're cycle 1 blockchain, guys. You understand what this means? This is our first bull run for Pulsechain. Okay, unlike Ethereum, it's third cycle. Unlike Bitcoin, guys, with these coins, you're gonna expect diminishing returns, bull run over bull run. But with Pulsechain, this is our first bull run, guys. So the highest growth potential is right now in 2025/2026. So really make the most out of it. We are in a believers only bull run. The people who are holding their bags that feel terrible to hold are actually the ones who are going to make the most money. And there's a quote that I wrote in one of those tweets here. Okay, I said here, big money is not made in the buying and selling. It's made in the waiting. And another quote here from Richard Hart himself, the man himself, says it's not about timing the market. It's about the time in the market. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited. God, we deserve this. Don't get me wrong, like there will be some back testing going on. As long as you're not short-term price oriented, everything will feel fine. You guys have already seen it, the 2 mini altcoin seasons that I've talked about countless times in 2024. Every leg up that we had in those two were a 30 to a 40x pump, guys. Okay, and guess what? None of them were the official first season first altcoin season. Why? Because of course the Bitcoin dominance, it did not fall all the way down to 40 or less than 40%. Okay, but speaking of that, today, guys, look at this. The others total crypto market cap right now, you can see here in the right side here, others crypto market cap has gone up by 11, almost 12% in 1 day. Ethereum is up, you know, here it says 21%, guys, over 2.1k. And of course, Bitcoin broke the 6-figure. This is huge. And of course, it's going to trickle down all the way to Pulsechain, guys. And I'm going to tell you quickly a quick analogy to why. Because a lot of people say, oh, what if Bitcoin only pumps, but Ethereum doesn't? I know, what if Pulsechain doesn't? Okay. But I'm going to tell you how things work. And yes, it's also through Hart's law, which is the bonding, right, between the pairs, right? For example, if you have ETH and Pulse, if ETH goes up, literally Pulse will go up with it, which we do have some LP pools over in Ethereum. And people can do that by buying Pulse on Ethereum, and then of course they bridge it over, you know, the native bridge to Pulsechain. But there's actually other reasons why we would pump along with Bitcoin, and it's a win-win. Now imagine you have a whale, okay, or imagine you have a retail investor who hasn't gone into crypto ever, and then the first thing they hear is, of course, Bitcoin. That's probably the first crypto people hear about, right? And then they're going to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up from 100k to 150k. They're gonna make a 50% return. They're gonna be like, wow, this is pretty cool. You know, this is like 2 years or 3 years of gains in the stock market. And then now they're gonna be like, okay, this is the world of crypto. I want more. Then they're gonna learn about Ethereum. Because you'll be like, okay, this is cool. Now I'm actually exposed to this blockchain that enables stable coins, the best DeFi utility. I'm also going to see, okay, people can make tokens like meme coins. There's DeFi apps. There's, DEXs, etc., etc. Oh, there's layer 1 forks. Oh, I heard about PulseChain. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are now going to want to shop and look at what other greater opportunities are there. Because now they've made money. Now they have even more risk capital. They want to play around more in the casino, right? The world of crypto. I'm telling you, and through education, and hopefully we make the world of Web3, right, and having a non-custodial or self-custodial wallet easier and easier to do so, right? For example, Rabbi was a great one. Potentially, Richard Hart is working on his own wallet, guys. And apparently, we're going to watch a clip in a second. He might have teased on working on his own exchange, guys. Richard Hart working on his own exchange. It's crazy. We've already seen him, by the way, react to the goalpost thing that happened, where he immediately, it was such a short turnaround time, where he created his own PulseChain.com website. Look at this. This is PulseChain.com, guys. This used to be so different. Look, it shows you all the stats that you want to know. You can even go in the stats tab. It shows you the transactions, the total liquidity. Oh, the fact that we're all the way down here, by the way. A lot of you guys will say, okay, low liquidity, that's not good. But actually, in the world of crypto, the best thing to have, or the best phase to be in, is in your pumping phase, you want to have low liquidity. And of course, when you're at those high prices, then you want to incentivize people to provide liquidity to sustain those high prices. And I'm telling you, this is exactly what Richard Hart is thinking about. He did this on purpose with PulseX, reducing the inflation rate for INC, because he knew that, hold on, when things really pump off, we wouldn't have less liquidity, so we can go to higher heights. Liquidity is a weight factor. Remember this, it's a weight factor. It's a double-edged sword. It's great. You got to be strategic with that. I'm telling you, because when we were back up here, guys, we were actually top 5 most liquid chains in all of crypto. Top 5. Yeah, and guess what? We were on no centralized exchanges. We were still gate kept. The SEC thing was going on, and guess what? The Interpol, that's when it just happened, when Richard Hart was on the most wanted, which, by the way, he's still on the most wanted apparently, but hopefully we get that sorted out. Guys, I'm so excited. I couldn't be more proud to be in PulseChain. I swear to God. So I just want to say, before I jump into the news, a big shout out to every single one who's been watching my videos for such a long time. It's been such a pleasure, guys. Such a pleasure. I've spent every single day in the past year and a half, possibly almost close to 2 years, literally thinking about, I want to learn more. Thinking about, I want to share what I learned with you guys in those videos. Okay, it's this nice positive feedback loop where you guys actually encourage me to keep on learning, and I really do enjoy this, and I enjoy to share the knowledge, because I believe I believe in this. Okay, I believe that there's enough money in this world where we can all, every single one who's watching this video, we can all make money in an honest way, and crypto is one of those instruments where it allows us to make money in a smart way rather than working hard. Okay, it's all about those. It's not a cheat code in life, but you gotta work smarter than harder, really, so you can enjoy more life, get more out of life, right? Buy back time, the one currency that does not inflate. So before we jump into it, I just want to say I'm super grateful to God, and of course, if I don't thank you guys, it's as if I didn't thank God. So big shout out to the man above. I've been trusting in the process. I've been trusting in God, and this feels like it's meant to be. This is my purpose, and PulseChain, guys, what a place to be. I love it here, and you know what I mean, like it's very exciting. But anyways, going back to the news, this is what I reported. Obviously, the Bitcoin dominance now going down. This is what I said. ETH BTC ratio is actually up 8.4%. Look at this, guys. Green candle. This is on a 3-day candle. Okay, this is a nice, good bounce, and I told you guys, it seemed like we are confirming a hammer candlestick here. It's quite obvious because we reached the support levels of the bear market back in 2019. That's very, very low. Like, we thought, okay, we're gonna go back down here, but no, it kept falling all the way down. And I'm telling you, hopefully in the peak of this bull run, we're gonna see a 0.8, back to all-time highs, and possibly even more, 0.1. Because of course, if we pull up a calculator real quick, yeah, If we pull up a calculator and let's say Bitcoin goes to 160K this year, okay? 160K, and let's say it reaches 0.8. Let's be conservative. Let's just say it reaches 0.6. Okay, we're gonna do that times 0.06. I think that's what I meant. Is it? Yeah, 0.06. That's what I meant. That means we're gonna see an Ethereum price of 9,600. Okay, this is significant. It's a good question. Why is that significant? It's a good question. Yes, I'm also holding stuff on the Ethereum side. I made a video on Titanx ecosystem. Not a lot of people talk about that because, of course, it's kind of dead, right? But I'm still holding it. You know what I mean? And remember, you gotta rewire your brain to hold the stuff that literally feels terrible. Hold the stuff that not a lot of people are talking about. Buy or be greedy when the prices are low. And I've said this in my Telegram group chat. Join it. Link in the description, guys. Ask me questions. I'm there every single day. If you have any question, you can tag me on that public group chat or ask the community. Say how the community, you know what I mean? Share whatever you want to share, really. As long as you're genuine, you're not shilling. And this is basically what I said. I said the first half of the equation is finding those bullish projects. The second half of that equation is deciding whether it is cheap enough for you to be worth putting your risk capital into it. Okay, so that's why it's very easy to be like, oh yeah, for example, Bitcoin. I'll say Bitcoin is one of the most bullish projects. Great, that's half the equation. The second half is it actually worth me going into this? You know what I mean? Is it expensive? Is it cheap? That's the second half of the equation. So keep that in mind. These are concepts that are very good to rewire your brain because, of course, by default, everyone has that herd behavior, which is I want to do the least amount of research as possible, and I just want to know what is popping off right now, which is what? Looking at what's already pumping, right? Where if you're buying something that's already pumping, you can expect less profits from the moment you bought. But now imagine buying it before something pops off, before you see the green candles that are going to happen. That's even more gains. It's really good to educate yourself with this because there's also like a kind of unspoken rule, which is the 90 rule, where it says 90% of newcomers to trading lose 90% of their money in 90 days, or 90% of their portfolio in 90 days. So please be careful. Break out of that majority. Okay, be the 10% that actually doesn't lose money by learning more. Don't rush anything. So when I'm talking about projects in these videos, take your time, learn about them. Okay, don't rush it. Like, take your own decision, because do remember, you have to only invest with risk capital. Segment your risks, diversify, understand where is your personal risk tolerance. I have different risk tolerances than you. Okay, and where are you on that risk curve as well? So you need to really understand, what is acceptable for you in terms of certainty versus, risk versus reward. All of that is very important. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump straight into some of my tweets here. And this is a great clip from Raoul Pal, I believe that's his name, Raoul Pal. Yeah, and this is a clip that, just a reminder, by the way, this is it perfectly sums what I've been talking about, how we are in this cyclical cycle, guys, which obviously right now is around 4 years, 4-year cycle, which is to do with actually the global liquidity. It doesn't really, it's coincidental that the Bitcoin halving aligns with that 4-year cycle, but Raoul Pal summarizes perfectly in this video. We're going to watch it together.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020, 2021. Off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats, don't fuck this up, don't lose control of your tokens, don't use leverage, don't get your wallet hacked, just sit with it, be careful, don't get FOMO, do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone, that's going to be harder because the next one that happens will have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over.
And I just to say, real quick, what is he referring to? He's referring to that gap between the first wave and the second wave that I talk a lot about, right? And usually that gap in the middle, majority of people will get caught off guard into basically another bear trap, right? Because all the other influencers are giving them these, incorrect information just so they can sound so different and get more views. And I'm going to tell you that second wave is going to be higher than the first one.
Everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith. Keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.
Amazing clip here. And remember, like some of the things that he mentioned here, it says, don't use leverage. And it's very important because you don't want to borrow other people's money that's not yours, basically. And as well, because leverage, it kind of has this time factor that really can, first of all, it requires a lot of mental toughness. Okay, before I even entered crypto, I was doing CFD trading with FTSE 100 all the way back in, 2019? Was it? I think it was, 2019 or March of 2020, like just when COVID really hit. And, basically I was trading FTSE 100, yada, yada, yada. But I'm just going to tell you, it requires a lot of mental toughness. I don't really suggest anyone to do that. Okay. It's good to just have spot positions and just own whatever you're owning, like have ownership. So yeah, please be careful. Don't get wrecked with leverage. And just in general, FOMO obviously is not a good thing because now if you're chasing green candles, you're not going to make the most profits because you were not early enough. So just a quick reminder, this is another statement that I like to say is follow the information, not the crowd. That's one of the other things that will really break you out of that 90% majority that everyone falls under. Okay, the retail mindset, basically. You don't want that. And you want to be a crypto investor, not a crypto trader. Okay, please do remember this. I understand these words that sound, either cliche and stuff, but really understand what it means to apply it. Like, I'm a crypto investor, guys. I'm not here to trade. I'm not here to make a 2x, a 3x, or 4 or 5, or even a 10x, guys. I'm here for financial freedom, like money that will actually make me free, guys. You understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, I don't no longer need to work 9 to 5. Oh, okay, I can kickstart my own business type of money, guys. Okay, oh, I can now use this money to create passive income funnels. Do you know what I mean? That type of money, guys. It's not going to come through, oh, I'm going to sell on a 2x. Oh no, if I make a 2x 10 times in a row, I'm going to make this X amount of money. No, that's impossible to do, by the way. That's impossible to do because you want to take profits, with every trade that you want to do, etc. Fair enough. If it's a working formula, as long as the risk to reward ratio is greater than 1 as well, you can do whatever you want. But I'm just saying, being an investor is much better than being a trader. You can actually look it up. There's a study on it that said 70% of potential gains are lost by trading rather than just holding. Swear to God, guys. Go check it out. There's a study there. I'm going to try to link it or possibly make a tweet about it. So go follow me on my Twitter, link in the description. But aside from that, I just made another quick thread here because this is a screenshot from today. Guys, look at this. EHEX is up 5.6. PHEX is up 6.3%, while Bitcoin is up 2.3. A perfect example to show you the power of leverages. Okay, remember, we're an amplified effect of what the macro market is doing. Okay, which of course comes from Ethereum, which then of course comes from Bitcoin, which of course comes from S&P, etc. Okay, which comes from the inflation. So you know what I mean. From our price right now, PHEX is 150x to $1. EHEX is around 220, and I believe I do have the chart somewhere here. Yeah, you can see it's around 212. Okay, we used to be 220. It's around 212 to break all-time high of 51 cents from the previous bull run. Will history repeat itself? We shall find out. And you can see for the super trend, the monthly, this is the monthly super trend. For it to flip green, we have to reach 2.4 cents. Very, very doable. And of course, not financial advice because I cannot guarantee anything, which is, by the way, is just under a 10x to flip green on the monthly super trend ever since the peak. Oh my God, guys, if we flipped that super trend, this will be huge. Like, people will write articles about this. Will be spoken in corners of the world on the internet where they don't even speak about crypto at that point. Guys, this will be huge. Let me tell you, we are under a 10x away for EHEX to make history again, because you already did. It was in the top 5 coin market cap last bull run. Okay, we're just entering this new bull run, guys. Believe it or not, yes, I'm going to say the bull run just started. Why? Because global liquidity index 2-3 weeks ago, we just broke all-time high on the global liquidity index. So realistically, it's just the beginning. So can EHEX repeat history? And I do believe history does repeat itself. So anyways, going back to it, I made another tweet here just talking about how much left EHEX and PHEX is in the liquidity pools. And here I said this is a screenshot from one of the websites. Here it says 388 million PHEX is left in the liquidity pools. This is obviously that basically is available to be bought. And of course, this number fluctuates depending on people if they sell the PHEX, right? Because if you sell the PHEX, liquidity pool is what? Is a dual asset token, where if you sell the PHEX, you're basically giving the liquidity pool your PHEX, and it gives you back whatever the bid side was, which is of course either could be a stablecoin, WPLS, or whatever the liquidity pools are available. And by the way, if you want to learn more about liquidity pools in general, V1, V2, V3, and all the theory side of things, I have done a course, link in the description, Learn Crypto, the Ultimate Guide. This is an amazing course for people who want to understand more about like the actual, behind the scenes, the mechanics of how crypto even works. Like, again, what are liquidity pools, dual asset tokens, what's the difference between a layer 1 and a layer 2? What's the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin, proof of work, proof of stake? When did Ethereum actually upgrade? Why did they do that? How does Bitcoin difficulty, etc. You learn a lot, even about the ERC20 standards, the NFT inscription, the tokens, etc. But anyways, going back to it, very, very bullish, by the way. Basically, I'm saying here, it means if there's around 388 million PHEX is left in the pools, that means only a maximum of 388 million from here on out is able to buy 1 million hex. That's crazy, guys. Again, I mentioned this, supply and demand economics. That's really, really good. Scarcity, when scarcity comes into play and demand is increasing, you know what that happens? Equals to higher prices. Simple. So yeah, I'm telling you, I really do believe in hex and EHEX. I'm really excited. It's part of the core ecosystem. I'm going to make a separate video on the core 7 that I've spoken about in the previous video. Someone did ask in the group chat, and I will make a separate video, so stay tuned for that, and that could be my next one. And then yeah, I just wanted to remind people as well, do you understand that when the SEC case was officially closed, this was on the 5th of May, and now if you turn 5th of May is already 5/5, and if you turn 25, technically 25 is 5 times 5, or 2 times 5, which is 5/5, right? Which is 555. Why is this number significant? This is the maximum stakeable duration in hex, guys. This has always been our number, like 5555, like 4-5. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually pretty cool, like the whole numerology behind things. Now, I understand that the video that Richard Hart uploaded a couple days ago, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, before yesterday. He did say like, oh, he thinks numerology is stupid, but it's so crazy that he said that when he then followed it up by saying, oh yeah, my hex diamond is 5555, and if you 55 carats or something, 55 facets, whatever. Like, he was mentioning all these coincidences with the numbers, etc. And it's like, you know what I mean? Well, to be fair, with or without him believing in it, you can't really change it, right? Like, it's like me saying, oh, I don't believe in numerology. It's still going to happen. That's the whole point. Like you don't have to believe in it for something to happen. It's actually like it's there. It's like, you know, Fibonacci. Even if we're not thinking about it, Fibonacci resistance levels, it will come to us naturally. Okay, that's pretty fascinating. But anyways, I'm just rambling about that. But yeah, you know, we're starting to grab other people's attention, like what's his name? Crypto Banter here talked about Pulse and PulseX Hex and Richard Hart. He basically said, "Oh, it appears like Richard Hart is back," and he played the first clip of the video, which is pretty cool. So shout out to him for actually showing it. Remember, guys, PulseChain is pre-viral. We are starting to go viral. We're starting to catch a lot of people's eyes, guys. Let me tell you. So being on Twitter, you know, engaging with other community, with other circles, people will click on your profile. People will see, okay, what do you represent? Because I just agreed with whatever you said. They're going to see, they're like, oh my God, yeah. And I've had people DM me, guys. I've had people DM me who were never into crypto. And they were like, hey, I want to learn about crypto. Where should I start? Like, it really works like that. When you try to tap into other people's circles, I'm telling you, even if it's one person here and there, through word of mouth, it will actually have an effect long term. Okay, so there's that. You know, carry on networking, guys. You know, the basically that's why they say your net worth is equal to your network. That's the same thing that applies to PulseChain. What is PulseChain's user count? Because that's actually where you get the value. You can deduct the value from the user count. Like I'll ask you here, okay, how many people are holding? Let's say, for example, how many people are holding? You know, let's say. As an example, let's just say UFO. Okay, how many people are holding UFO? I can almost deduct the value without you telling me the price tag. You know, the higher the number of holders, the more valuable that network will be. That's basically I'm describing here is Metcalfe's law, where it's the law where it says if you double the user count of a network, you end up squaring the value. Simple. So it goes the same thing. If we 10x'd the daily active wallets on PulseChain, we will 10 squared the value of it. So if we 10x in user count, we will 100x. That's Metcalfe's law. So now when you think about it, okay, we just need green candles. We're going to attract, retail investors. Oh, step one, green candles. How do we do this? Literally just onboard more people. Just get users, even if they're going to come in with $1. Guys, you just never know. They like the ecosystem. They like the community. They see how everyone's super welcoming, how everyone's sharing information. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is good. They sound genuine. You never know who else they're going to invite. You never know if they're going to be like, okay, you know what? I put in $1. It went up to $2. I'm now going to put 10K. You know what I mean? You just never know. You just never know. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And just a reminder, by the way, fun fact that only 70% of the world population is in crypto. So that's also another fun fact for you to know. Anyways, going to some quick crypto news here from Donald Trump here says, the golden age of America is coming. And he then says, better go out and buy stocks now. So we're going to see it, man. And I believe they even striked a good deal with the UK, where it kind of addresses it basically lowered the US tariffs. Yeah, the US tariff the US tariffs, and it increased the UK tariffs. It's actually kind of crazy how they strike that deal. But this is obviously good news for everyone, right? Because even though I guess I'm not really in the US, but it's a win for, I'd say, the whole crypto market, just due to the fact that 60% of the financial market, guys, is effectively in America. So any win for America does trickle down to crypto in general. Is a good win for us. So yeah, anyways, here President Trump says the Fed chairman Jerome Powell won't cut rates because he's not in love with me. So again, he used a clip of him just saying that. It's pretty funny because basically he's saying like, oh, Europe, they lowered their interest rates, but the latest FOMC meeting, they decided to keep the interest rates where they are, which is, by the way, it's still good news. Like for them to actually keep it at those levels, it's not the worst thing, because the worst thing is them increasing it increasing the interest rates instead, rather than lowering. Because of course, if they lowered the interest rates, that's effectively quantitative easing. That's the whole thing that I'm saying that it's inevitable. So they're just trying to push it the farther. And my concept of this, or my mindset about this, is that the longer we wait, the more ammo we have for us to lower interest rates and to increase inflation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, so in a way, if it doesn't happen now, there'll be more that will happen in the future, more quantitative easing. So, keep that in mind. It kind of reminds me of that, the indicator that I talked about in the previous video with the PMI, the Purchasing Managers Index, right? We're right now fluctuating about that 50 PMI. I think it's also known as ISM. And then, like if it goes anything above 50, 52, 53, really, like if it's above 53, that's usually confirms that we've really entered the actual expansion, guys, of everything. Like everything starts to expand, prices will start going up. So it's pretty exciting stuff. I'm really looking forward to the in general, like the next year from now. Like if you make a countdown in the next few months to basically a year, or even less than a year, let me tell you, it's really less than a year. We can see that second wave to be in Q1 of 2026, and that's it. That is it, guys. Okay. Bullish. Missouri said to become the first U.S. state to exempt capital gains taxes on stocks, crypto, and real estate. Pretty cool stuff. And then here, big shout out to the CFO, I believe. Yeah, CFO of Hex. Martin says maybe the biggest use case for Ethereum is set to a world record. Is to set a world record for the biggest short squeeze of all time. Yeah, because we just seen it, 20% in a day. Ethereum moved up. Crazy, 23%. Oh my god, hold on, what's the price of everything right now? Okay, Bitcoin is at 1.1. Ooh, look at that, 2.2, guys. Oh my god, 1.3. Look at that, that's absolutely crazy. And then moving on here to the final kind of crypto news here. Big shout out to Crypto Coffee, saying the US Fed bought another 20 billion worth of bonds, meaning it's buying back debt and injecting cash into the market. This extra liquidity might trigger some market pumps. Let's hope PulseChain reacts positively. And what's crazy is that people's theory, by the way, is saying that PulseChain usually front runs the whole macro market, right? Either by good news or by bad news. So it's crazy that Richard Hart with the SEC news happened, the case being officially closed, and Richard Hart's video, like it all came, and then like now today, a huge pump in the past couple of days. It's kind of crazy with this theory. Usually it's actually, there's a delay, right? Where Bitcoin goes up, then there's a small delay, Ethereum goes up, then there's a small delay, altcoins goes up, which obviously PulseChain is under that category. But we're really defying the laws of crypto physics here, and we're actually front running. So it's kind of crazy. Like when you really think about it, it's kind of like a simulation in a way. Like usually the good news that are happening within PulseChain that's totally unrelated to the good news that's happening in the macro level is around the same time, even though they're actually unrelated. Like they have different factors and constraints and enablers, right? But why is it happening? Why does it come out at the same time? So crazy. This kind of reminds me of the market efficiency hypothesis, where it was basically saying, where they, the saying is that the news reflect the price charts. When new thing is actually the opposite way around, where the price charts should reflect the news. But the theory is that the news reflect the price chart. Because now imagine this, right? Price goes up. Let's say, for example, Hex goes up. What are the people going to say? They're going to say Richard Hart is the smartest man in the world. This is why the price is going up, right? Or let's say they're going to say, oh, it's because Richard Hart beat the SEC. But let's say now Hex goes down minus 50% tomorrow or today, or the current price is minus 50%. They're not going to say, oh yeah, Richard Hart is the greatest founder. Oh, he beat the SEC. You know what I'm going to say? They're going to say, oh, he's probably a scammer, and he's in the most wanted Interpol list for a reason. That's the reason why. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, the news is actually driven by the price chart rather than the other way around. It's crazy. So yeah, it is really, really crazy sometimes. If the price is up, they're going to say you're the best product in the world. But if the price is down, they're going to say you're a scam. This is why I tell people it's really easy for us to call any project a scam when all the prices are down. Like, it's so crazy that that's like people's thought process is, okay, what's the price? Is it up or down? That's where I'm going to decide if it's a good project or not. It's crazy. But if you rewire your brain where you actually want to buy at those cheap prices, where you see value in cheap prices because you're buying into a project not because of today's value, because of its future potential value. That's how you need to change your mind, guys. You have to rewire it. Really think about what I'm saying and actually start applying it. Okay? Because these are easy things for anyone to say, but you have to live it. You have to apply it. What is cheap right now? Let me go buy it. What is something that not a lot of people are talking about? And yes, PulseX is still one of them. INC is still one of them. They're the blue chips of PulseChain, right? But of course, you can also look at the leverage of PulseX or leverage of XYZ. Like, for example, EX. Not a lot of people are talking about EX, guys. I'm telling you, not a lot of people. Okay. So anyways, we're going to move on for that. We're going to talk Hex in another time. But with some Pulse news here, big shout out to Grace here saying the month in PulseChain ecosystem. Can you imagine? May, which is so funny because May is notorious, right? By the saying, which is sell in May and walk away. But did we just flip that to buy in May and walk away? Shout out to Sami because he mentioned that. So yeah, moving on to other news. A big shout out to Internet Money. Guys, honestly, claps, literally give them a round of applause because they have just done something huge, which is changing the embedded DApp where you can buy right now. So for example, if I go here, Pulse, let's say I wanted to buy on Deck Screener, by the way, like this is on Deck Screener, I can click this button and it will open PulseX in this small little window, and I can just connect my wallet. I don't have to, open a new tab. This will make it more and easier. This will reduce the number of clicks for someone where it's required for them to make a purchase. The lower the number of clicks we get it to, the better. Okay, now I'm not sure if they've set it up where it will automatically grab the latest IPFS link. I'm not really sure. I did also suggest that they could do PTS or potentially add it as another option. PTS would be really great, especially for people who are going to do high orders, basically, because it protects you against MEV bot attacks, but that's for another video. But yeah, this is really huge. Now, why is it huge? Because the replacement was of GoPulse. Now, again, I don't really like to throw shade at any other project or any other, I just like to focus on what I like, but I'm just going to talk about it. And it's because, and I mentioned this in my Telegram, right, where I said to people, GoPulse, unfortunately, everything is beautiful, guys. Everything's so polished, so professional, the best place, at least it used to be the best place to take people as their one-stop shop to learn about, get the latest stats about PulseChain, right? But unfortunately, guys, if you didn't know, when you use their swap, they charge, They charge 3%, right? And in this screen right here, it doesn't really tell you. It doesn't really tell you anything about, we're gonna do a 3% tax swap. How can you confirm this, by the way? If am I making this up? I'll show you by if we do just 2 stable coins. And if I put in 100, look at that. I swap 100 EDI, it will automatically give me 97. Or actually slightly even more. It's 96.6, guys. That's 3.4 or 3.38 right there. So, that's actually kind of not really great. So yeah, this is why, it's proposed like, hey, you should not really embed their trading link here because they're literally taking 3% of people's money without them knowing. And it's a good thing that we've changed that now to be PulseX, straight the native DEX of PulseChain. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, really, I wish they were more transparent. And I really wish they didn't do the sacrifice. Now, I'm not really going to talk more about it. They launched the token. It's called Go. Again, I'm not going to say anything. Like, if you want to go buy it, of course, go buy it. Like, at the end of the day, we're in PulseChain. We represent freedom of speech. You can have your own thoughts. We're all here, free thinkers, and freedom of movement. So whatever you want to, you're practicing your right to spend whatever you want. I'm just going to end it there. But, in general, I'm just going to say that I don't really like sacrifices, okay? I hate when people try to act like they're Richard Hart. Okay, I believe Richard Hart is the only person who can actually truly do a sacrifice with good intentions. Because yes, he delivered on PulseChain. he delivered on PulseX. He took, he actually donated 27 or I think 27 million to a foundation that actually matters in their, fighting the Sense Foundation. Basically, they're researching for how to make people's lives live longer, guys, longer and better, more quality years of their life, basically. So that's for a good cause. And by the way, that's people, us. We raised that money. And big shout out to Richard Hart, because he wanted to make that very clear in the video. And I watched the video where he said, I didn't give them 27 million. You guys raised it. So again, I just really like Richard Hart, man. I've learned so much from the guy. And I just want to remind people some of the best quotes that he said that I really like. I live by every single day, and I wake up and I remember it in my head. I'm like, okay, this is what really drives me. And he said this. He goes, I want to make the world a better place. Therefore, I will be the change that I want to see. Guys, we're talking about, Richard Hart, who cares and talks about people, warns people about the, counterparty risk and how to not lose their money. He even he probably knows more about Bitcoin than Vitalik. He cares more about Ethereum, even though he has his own layer 1 fork solution. Like, it's so crazy. He actually is a very thoughtful person. He even wrote 2 free self-help books. One of them is like Fix the Money, Fix the World. The other one is Sci-Vive. I think it's about the 5 pillars, etc. It's on my to-do list to finish them both, really. And potentially I'll make a review on that. But anyways, going back to it, big shout out to Internet Money for, getting that done. So thank you to Dex Screener for the quick turnaround time on this. Well, thank you for being very quick on that as well. And one of the clips, by the way, where I mentioned where he said, he talked about exchanges. This is the clip. Let's see what he has to say here.
We've got regulatory certainty that almost no other coin has. If people don't start doing nice things for us, working with us, listing, etc., I wouldn't be surprised to see people just start up competitors.
There you go. Look, that's so cool, by the way. He goes, if people don't want to work with us, I wouldn't be surprised if we see competitors. Again, that could be a tease on an exchange that he's working on. Okay. So we already know a wallet is in the works, by the way. We already know this. So yeah, this is huge. That would be very, very huge. And, this is just from KR the Ghost. Big shout out to him. Here talking about the whole GoPulse thing again with the sacrifice, where effectively he's saying, and these are screenshots, by the way, where the, people sacrificed like 600,000. And mysteriously, in the last few minutes of the sacrifice, there's a lot of influx of money, which is not a good look, because it's like, well, who are those people? Could it be GoPulse themselves? I don't know. Can't confirm. But apparently, the sacrifice that were, the sacrifice money, which is like people gave away their PulseX, their Hex. Today, they were seen where they swapped the PulseX, the Hex, the INC into some stable coins. I think they did 100K so far. So again, like, that's still pressure on those charts, guys. That's still pressure on PulseX. That's still pressure on INC. And you know what I mean, guys? So I really, again, man, I wouldn't sacrifice, guys. I really wouldn't have. So whoever sacrificed, I hope you know what you got yourself into, basically, right? I hope it was actually really worth it. I hope this is something that you don't mind. Okay, because if you really sacrificed, that money is no longer yours. Let me tell you. You have the tokens, and that's what you agreed on, basically. Okay, so I hope that was made clear to you by them. I really hope so. I really, really do. Anyways, moving on here to the last final pieces of news here. Maria, the 4-on-4 dev, started buying up Teddy Bear, which is kind of good. And hopefully he stays true to his promise, which is buying back PulseChain and basically Atropa and stuff, even if it's at a loss when things got better. Because, of course, when he did that, it was basically a freak out, where I really do believe it's kind of theater and it's, all orchestrated. Okay, where he's like, oh my God, PDAI has an extraction issue. I'm going to sell now because Atropa is attached to PDAI. And he sold. And he basically said, this is what he said. There's a screenshot. You can go find it. Where he goes, I'm now in a leverage position on Ethereum. If things are becoming better or basically clearer, I will buy back in, even if it's at a loss. Now, a lot of people, they lost hope in Maria, like fully broken. their trust. They're like, whoa, you just sold. That's unequivocally or unequivocally acceptable, if that's the right grammar there. So I really do believe, like, guys, is Maria hired by Richard Hart? I've heard rumors where people say, actually, that money that he dumped is the money that he initially injected. So technically he's allowed to take it out. I don't know. I've heard things left and right. I heard people say even like, oh, he was paid 25 million to build the ecosystem that he did. Okay, this is all orchestrated. This is all a theater that we saw. Part of the plan is that PDAI is not going to have an oracle. It won't need an oracle to be a stablecoin. A P-maker replacement. Because of course, if you guys didn't know, PDAI's admin keys was what? Was the P-maker token itself. And because of the fork, it also forked whoever had the majority tokens from Ethereum. So technically that did come with its risks. So maybe, part of the plan was actually to get rid of the P-maker and have some type of replacement. In the previous video, if you guys caught it and watched it, one of the theories is what? Having INC being that, kind of like a DAO or a DAO token, effectively. Could we see that? We shall see. So really exciting stuff. And I wanted to talk more about this, where PulseChain Alpha is Railway wallet about to be forked, privacy and new wallet. PulseChain, again, this is just one of the theories where PulseChain have a reason to believe that Richard Hart's next big move is to fork a Railway wallet. That's the kind of exchange, the wallet that we've been that I mentioned, that he's probably, because he did. There's a to-do list that he compiled, like we're talking way before PulseChain even launched, and one of that to-do list items were what? It was a wallet that I'm making that's cross-platform or it was cross-platform wallet that I'm making effectively. And so we know there's something in the background that he's working on. Hopefully it's going to be even better experience than DBank and better experience than Rabi Wallet, because of course they pulled the plug on supporting us, and they didn't even leave out a statement, and it kind of hurts because Rabi Wallet, guys, was one of my favorite crypto experiences. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Rabi made PulseChain feel so good. Like I was able to cancel, I was able to see the simulation results. Like, even in terms of security, it says, oh yeah, this site is popular. It even says the wallet, oh, you've never interacted with this wallet, are you ready? Like, it asks you to input your password again. It's really sad. It's sad to see, and they didn't even leave a statement. But it is what it is. We move on to bigger and better things. And the final tweet goes to here. Can you bookmark this and timestamp it? Hex on PulseChain is going to $7 this cycle. Current price is half of a penny. $7. That's absolutely crazy. And again, a lot of crazy things are possible in crypto. The power of crypto, guys, because everything is cheaper. Everything is cheaper. So guys, listen, I'm going to end the video there. It's getting closer to midnight. You guys are absolutely amazing. I hope you guys had enough time to watch this video. I understand it's like very long. It's around 50 minutes. But I'm getting you guys caught up today. Everything's pumping. It feels really great to be in PulseChain, man. Oh, I really cannot wait. I'm going to have a really good night's sleep. I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m., hit the gym. And, life is good. I ain't going to lie to you guys. Life is good, because I just want to say big congrats to you. And I'm talking to you, the viewer, because you've believed in the most depressing times in crypto, guys. And we're talking the past few months. Look at where we are now. Yes, prices are still not that up, but the sentiments is quite clear. The reversal is quite clear that we've gone through the worst part. It's very simple to confirm this. All you got to do is go to the Fear and Greed Index, and you will see that we were at the, it's the opposite of a peak, a trough. Yeah, we were at the trough a few weeks ago. We were there. And yes, how it is right now, it does look like we've increased rapidly on the Fear and Greed Index, which means we will probably retest a few levels before we go to higher highs or higher lows effectively. But I'm just saying, we've gone through the hardest part. Okay, now people, we're on to that next stage of the psychology chart. So big shout out to you. And guys, big shout out to, of course, the YouTube members who are choosing to support my channel. And if you want to learn more about crypto operational security, link in the description. I've done a course on this where it leverages the thousands of hours that I've spent researching, and of course the expensive lessons that I've gone through from my beginning journey in the crypto market. and etc. So please keep that in mind. I do teach people as well here there's a practical section in the video where I also talk about how you can actually encrypt your files using the AES encryption to 256-bit, and effectively other stuff like how you can secure your wallet from quantum computing, so keeping it secure, and just the different types of cold wallet, warm wallet, hot wallet, how you can read smart contracts to see mint or even like any malicious contracts. Really useful, guys. Okay, talk about the crypto OPSEC, which it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, and I just want to say complacency is one of the biggest risks, so please be careful. And you don't even need to hear it from me. Like, you can read the feedback from the people who watched the course, so shout out to them as well. I'm gonna end the video there. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Share this video with your crypto bros. Get them on PulseChain. Let them watch this video to see what's up. And yeah, comment down below. It really helps boost the YouTube algorithm. Gets this video out to other crypto investors who possibly don't even know about PulseChain. And join the Telegram, link in the description. Let me know if you've enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions of future videos you want me to do, comment them down below. Or you can, if you also need any help, you can definitely reach out to me to my Telegram, link in the description, or through my email, also link in the description. Take care, guys, and big shout out to the man above. Trusting the process, trusting God.